What's going on YouTube? JT Jaborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Batgirls issue number 10. This one's written by Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, with art by Neil Googe, or however you pronounce it, or Googie. I'm probably getting this wrong, colors by so-and-so. So on the cover right here, an eye for an eye. You have Babs, you have Cass, Steph, in the top right corner, that's Kyle Mizoguchi. He's the older brother of Maps Mizoguchi. He's a character I quite enjoyed from Gotham Academy. Of course, you got the writers from Gotham Academy associated with this thing, so you're naturally going to get those connections. So Batgirls, at this point, I'm kind of really like losing interest in this series. I'm able to follow it easy enough. It's not overly complicated or anything like that. It's just, it's almost too childish for me. This is clearly geared towards a younger bunch of readers, and there's so much tee-hee-hee, like type writing, as I like to call it, with the way Steph and Cass, like these, they should be behaving a lot more mature. If this is set in this current DC universe, then they should be a lot more mature and adult than this. But man, they are written like 14-year-old girls, and I'm pretty certain that they're a lot older than that. Otherwise, that makes them like the same age as Damian, because this is in current continuity and all that stuff. So yeah, so we have Killer Moth in here because he showed up briefly for some reason. And then we have this other dude right here who's been making these ciphers and stuff. I think his name is Mr. Fun and all that. Clearly not the Riddler, but inspired in some ways by the Riddler, leaving Zodiac as clues. Kind of like the Batman version of the Riddler. Although, wouldn't that be something? You get something really dark and messed up in the midst of this type of story. But this one's so much about fluff and having fun that it just, the stories have gotten so weightless. And I've kind of noticed a similar trend with Tom Taylor's Nightwing book, to the point where, like, I like fluff. I like fun sometimes, but you gotta have a bit of serious stakes and really feel the weight of the situations. If it's just all fluff, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to feel suspense or anything for what's going on here. It's just going to lessen the impact of things. So Steph has a meet cute with Kyle Mizoguchi, who tries to help them out of the whole situation, trying to figure out some clues, but she's just like head over heels with this guy. She's literally seeing hearts at some point. So it's definitely got like a manga anime inspired feel. It's just being set in the current DC universe. It just feels so out of place at this point. Also, the Batgirls go ahead and fight Killer Moth. Doesn't really like end well for them. They go back and then they go get cleaned up. Babs has a conversation with Montoya basically to signify that they're kind of off on their own. Then she goes to see Dick. She's obviously been experiencing back issues. In some points they have her in the chair like Oracle. So it's they're kind of like torn, like, do we have her as Batgirl? Do we have her as Oracle? Let's have her cake and eat it too type situation. Like, just have a best of both worlds, but it doesn't really work fully. Just have her retire as Batgirl and just stick as Oracle. Stick to being Oracle at this point. But yeah, so she goes to show up to Dick's place. They have flirt. There's some dialogue that feels rather kind of cringy, if I'm being honest. She talks about being turned on, and then we cut away. You know what? Just show them hooking up at some point. Like, just actually show that. But no, because these are geared, these are so childish that they'll never like show anything adult like that at this point. I just want them to be written more mature, because they feel so childlike with the way they've been kind of written. I like Dick and Barbara as a couple, and even this is a bit much for me. So yeah, Steph and Cass are still doing their thing. Cass is just like, oh, that boy right there, you should call Kyle. It's like, oh, tee-hee-hee. And then that kind of happens. And yeah, so they're off doing their thing, and then at the end of the issue, we find out that the guy responsible for this whole thing is somebody named Mr. Fun or whatever. So yeah, that's the issue in a nutshell. Nothing really all that amazing or anything like that. The artwork is pretty good, but it's just so much fluff. I can't take it anymore. And I'm somebody, like I said, who likes fluff. I like lighthearted things once in a while, but I want a little bit of more than what we're getting in this book. I mean, just the whole tee-hee-hee, it feels out of place, because this is set in the continuity of DC Comics, where I've seen Steph and Cass go through all these things. If this were an Elseworlds storyline, I wouldn't necessarily be feeling the same thing, but because this is set within the same main universe continuity, it just feels so out of place and just so out of line with how they're written and everything else. And it feels off. It just doesn't feel right when I'm reading this book. And not much interesting has really happened. The villains, this writing works for Gotham Academy, I feel, but like this storyline, I don't know. I've just lost interest in Batgirls at this point. I've tried to get into it. I don't hate any of it, but this issue is really starting to like get to me at this point with the whole tee-hee-hee writing, as I like to say. I'm coining that term, like when it's just like when they're written this childishly, I'm just going to call it like tee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee. Oh my gosh, a boy. It's just laughable at this point. So if you have thoughts on Batgirls number 10, tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. I got nothing else to say about this thing, so there you go. All right, well, that's all I got to say. This is a very quick video. I'll get up to covering Urban Legends later on as well, and then I also want to cover the Dark Crisis Wonder Woman storyline, but I wanted to get this video out there today, so I wanted to record this one first. So you'll probably see them uploaded simultaneously or something like that, or maybe I'll save some for tomorrow. I don't know. It's Tuesday I'm recording this, so this one should be up by then, but yeah. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video.